Smile, Elena whispered without looking at me. They're watching. I am smiling, I said. No, you're thinking, she replied. Don't. The room was full of people who said her name like it meant power. Elena Wright. Geo. Visionary. Self-made. I stood one step behind her, holding a tablet, nodding when investors nodded, silent when they praised her. Richard Cole leaned toward me and said quietly, "You're the numbers guy, right?" "I help," I said. Elena laughed before I could finish. "He keeps me organized," she said. "I keep him inspired." People laughed. I smiled again. Marcus Hale crossed his arms and said, "We should start. Time is money." I clicked the first slide onto the screen. Elena didn't touch the remote. She never did. She talked. I built. That was the rhythm. "Elena," Marcus said, "tell them about the growth curve." She looked at the screen. "As you can see, we doubled our reach in 6 months." "You mean after the pivot?" I said. She paused. "Yes, after the pivot." Richard nodded. "Smart move." Elena smiled wider. I knew it would work. I remembered the night before that pivot. I remembered saying, "This path burns cash too fast," and her saying, "You worry too much." I remembered staying up until 4 rewriting the projections so she could sell confidence without lying. Marcus cleared his throat. "Let's not get lost in details." I looked at him. Details keep companies alive. He looked back. Confidence keeps them funded. Elena stepped between us. "Both of you are right," she said, then looked at Marcus. "But let's move on." The meeting ended with applause. Someone shook my hand and said, "You're lucky to be married to her." "I know," I said. In the elevator, Elena checked her phone. "That went well." "You brushed past the risk section," I said. She sighed. "Because it scares them. It prepares them." She laughed softly. "You always think in worst cases." "I think in real cases." Marcus smirked. "That's why you're not the one up front." The doors opened. Elena walked out without waiting for me. At home that night, she kicked off her heels and said, "You should have seen their faces." "I did," I said. "They leaned in when the margins came up." "Because I sold it," she replied. "Because I structured it," I said. She stopped and looked at me. "Why are you like this today?" "Like what?" "Needing credit." "I don't need credit," I said. "I need you to listen." She waved her hand. "You worry about things that don't matter." "They matter to me." She laughed again. Not loud. Casual. Comfortable. "You're my husband, not my board." That sentence stayed in the air. Later my phone buzzed. Richard's name lit up the screen. "You okay?" he asked. "I'm fine," I said. "You've got a good read on things," he said. "Don't let noise drown that out." "Thanks," I said. He hesitated. "Does Elena still hear you?" I didn't answer right away. After the call, I sat in the dark living room. The pitch deck glowed on my laptop. My notes filled the margins. Elena's name was on every slide. I remembered her first pitch, shaking hands asking, "Will you sit in the front row?" I remembered saying, "I've got you." Now she didn't even look back to see if I was there. I closed the laptop. For the first time, I wondered when I stopped being her partner and started being her background. And I realized something colder than anger. I had become invisible in my own marriage. "Let's keep this clean," Marcus said as he shut the conference room door. "No side conversations." Elena didn't look at me. She adjusted her blazer and said, "This round defines us." I nodded. "That's why we shouldn't rush the expansion." She finally looked over. "We've discussed this." "We discussed speed," I said. "Not pressure." Marcus tapped the table. "Investors like bold moves." "They like honest ones," I replied. Elena smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I'll handle it." The investors filed in. Richard Cole gave me a short nod. Daniel Reyes followed, younger, sharper, watching everything. Elena stood at the head of the table like she owned gravity. "Thank you for being here," she said. "Today I'll show you why we're ready to scale globally." I clicked the slides forward. When the burn rate chart came up, I leaned in and said quietly, "This is where we slow down." She spoke over me. "As you can see, our costs are aggressive because our vision is." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Aggressive costs usually mean short runways." I opened my mouth. Elena raised her hand slightly, not even looking at me. "Our revenue curve offsets that," she continued. "It does," I said, "if the supply chain holds." Marcus turned toward me. "We've covered that internally." "We covered best cases," I said. Elena laughed lightly. He likes to play devil's advocate. Richard looked between us. Sometimes the devil is right. The room went quiet. Elena's smile tightened. What my husband means is that we're prepared for challenges. That's not what I meant, I said. I mean we should delay expansion by 1/4. Marcus leaned back. That's fear talking. That's math, I replied. Elena's voice sharpened. We are not delaying. Daniel asked, why not? Elena answered fast. Because momentum matters. I said, so does survival. Her eyes flashed. Enough. The word hit harder than a shout. The meeting ended 10 minutes later. Handshakes, polite smiles, questions that never came to me again. As they left, Richard slowed beside me. Walk with me. Elena said, I'll see you at home, like it was a formality. In the hallway, Richard said, you weren't wrong. I know, I said. You're careful, he said. That's rare. It's expensive too, I replied. He stopped. Does she trust you? I hesitated. She trusts results. That wasn't my question, he said. Back home, Elena dropped her bag and said, you embarrassed me. I answered a question. You challenged me. I protected us. She laughed, sharp and short. From what? Success? From collapse. Marcus's voice came through her phone on speaker. You did great. He needs to stay in his lane. She didn't turn it off. I said, is this a joke? She ended the call. You need to understand something, she said. In that room I lead. I know. Then stop acting like you're the smartest one there. I felt my chest tighten. I don't need to be the smartest. I need to be heard. She shook her head. You're too emotional lately. I'm reacting, I said. There's a difference. She walked toward the bedroom. I'm meeting the team for drinks. We need to talk. Not tonight. The door closed. I sat on the couch. My phone buzzed. Daniel's name. Hope this isn't weird, he said. I wanted your take. My take doesn't matter, I said. It does to me, he replied. You see risks others ignore. I see patterns, I said. They repeat. He paused. If things ever change, call me. After the call, I stared at the wall. Elena's laughter from earlier echoed in my head. Not joy. Control. I realized something simple and painful. In that room, my voice wasn't silenced because it was wrong. It was silenced because it threatened her image. And for the first time, I wondered how long I could survive being unheard. You're being dramatic, Elena said, scrolling through her phone. Sit down. I am sitting, I said. You're not listening. She sighed like I had asked something childish. What now? I can't keep doing this, I said. Working for a company that won't hear me. Living in a marriage where my voice is optional. She finally looked up. You're tired? That's all. I'm clear, I said. That's new for me. Marcus's voice echoed in my head from earlier that day. Stay in your lane. I leaned forward. I'm stepping back from the company. She blinked once. For how long? For good. The word hung between us. Then she laughed. Not shocked. Not angry. Amused. That's funny, she said. You're quitting? Yes. She set her phone down slowly. You'll be back by Monday. I won't. You always do, she said. You cool off, you realize you need this. I don't need this, I said. I need respect. She smiled like she was humoring me. You need structure. You need me. That's not true. She stood and crossed her arms. You think investors care about you? I think they care about honesty. She laughed again, louder this time. They care about winners. I helped you win, I said. And I carried us, she shot back. Don't rewrite history. My chest burned. I built the decks. I coached every pitch. I introduced you to half that board. And whose name is on the door? She asked. I didn't answer. Marcus walked in without knocking. Everything okay? She's having a moment, Elena said. I'm making a decision, I said. Marcus smirked. About what? Your allowance. Elena laughed. I didn't. I'm done, I said. I'm resigning effective now. Marcus clapped once. Bold. Elena tilted her head. You'll regret this. I already regret staying quiet, I said. She shook her head. You don't survive without me. I survived before you, I said. Barely, she replied. You had ideas, not power. I stood up. I don't want power. I want peace. Marcus said, good luck finding that without money. I walked toward the door. Elena said softly, you're serious. Yes. She laughed again. Smaller now. You'll crawl back. That laugh followed me down the hall. I packed a bag in silence. Clothes, laptop, notebook. Elena watched from the doorway. You're overreacting, she said. I'm reacting exactly once, I replied. You're throwing everything away. I'm choosing myself. She rolled her eyes. You sound ridiculous. I stopped and looked at her. Did you ever believe in me? She hesitated too long. That answer hurt more than her laughter. I walked out. The night air hit my face like water. I sat in my car, hands shaking on the wheel. My phone buzzed. Richard. I heard, he said. He laughed, I said. I know, he replied. I heard that too. I swallowed. Did I just ruin everything? No, he said. You stopped lying to yourself. Another buzz. Daniel. Word travels fast, he said. You okay? I don't know, I admitted. You did something brave, he said. I stared through the windshield. Elena's office light glowed above. She thinks I'm nothing without her, I said. Daniel paused. Do you think that? No, I said. But I'm scared. That's normal, he replied. So is freedom. I hung up and leaned back. My chest felt hollow. Not regret. Loss. I remembered our first apartment. Elena pacing, nervous. Me saying, you've got this. Her hand squeezing mine. Her voice shaking as she pitched. Me smiling from the back row. I whispered to the empty car, when did we stop being a team? My phone buzzed again. A text from Elena. Don't be stupid. I didn't reply. Another message came seconds later. You'll be back. I turned the phone face down. For the first time in years, no one needed me to fix anything. That terrified me. It also felt honest. I started the engine. As I drove away, her laughter faded behind me, but its echo stayed sharp in my chest. I didn't know what I was becoming. But I knew one thing with painful clarity. If I stayed, I would disappear completely. And I refused to vanish quietly. The first call came before I finished my coffee. Are you really out? Richard asked. Yes, I said. Completely. He exhaled. Then I need your honesty. You always had it. Good, he said. Because the expansion scares me. It should, I replied. They're pushing speed over structure. That's what I thought, he said. Elena brushed me off. She brushes off anything that slows her, I said. There was a pause. Do you miss her? I miss who she was, I said. Not who she's become. The next call came an hour later. Daniel Reyes, he said. Hope I'm not interrupting. You're not, I replied. I heard you walked, he said. That takes guts. It took exhaustion, I said. He laughed softly. Same thing sometimes. What do you want? I asked. My money to be safe, he said. And my conscience. I leaned back. Those don't usually travel together. They do when someone tells the truth, he replied. What's the real risk? I told him. No drama. No exaggeration. Just numbers. At noon my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. This is Sophie, she said. From PR. I know, I replied. She's spiraling, Sophie said. Elena. She won't admit it. I'm not surprised. She thinks you'll come back, Sophie said. I won't. Sophie hesitated. They listen to you. You know that, right? I know, I said. That's why I left. The afternoon disappeared into calls. Different voices. Same questions. Would you have signed off on this? No. Is the burn rate sustainable? Not long term. Do you trust Marcus? I trust incentives. No one asked me to attack Elena. They just wanted clarity. By evening my phone was silent. Then it buzzed again. Elena, the screen said. I didn't answer. A message followed. Why are investors calling you? I typed nothing. Another message. What did you tell them? I stared at the screen. My chest tightened. I wanted to explain. To soften it. I didn't. An hour later the phone rang again. Pick up, she said when I answered. Now. I'm not your employee, I said. You're still my husband. Then talk to me like one. Silence. Did you sabotage me? She asked. I told the truth, I replied. You're ruining everything. I warned you, I said. For years. You're punishing me. I'm protecting myself. She scoffed. You think they'll follow you? I think they follow logic, I said. You're nothing without this company. I closed my eyes. I was something before it. She laughed again. You're delusional. The line went dead. I sat there staring at my phone. Later that night, Richard texted, "Coffee tomorrow?" I replied yes. The cafe was quiet. Richard stirred his cup slowly. "You never asked for credit," he said. That worried me. "Why?" "People who don't need praise usually know their value," he said. I looked out the window. She forgot mine. "She forgot her limits," he corrected. "That happens when no one pushes back." "I did," I said. She didn't listen. "And now I'm done pushing." Richard nodded. "Some of us are considering options." I met his eyes. "Without her?" "With you," he said. The word landed hard. "I'm not ready," I said. "You don't have to be," he replied. "Just be honest." My phone buzzed on the table. A message from Daniel. "If you ever build something, I'm in." I locked the screen. That night, I sat alone in a borrowed apartment. No office. No title. No schedule. Just my thoughts. Elena had always said I needed her spotlight to matter. But all day, people had called me without asking for her permission. I realized something quietly without triumph. She didn't know it yet. But the foundation she stood on had always been mine. And foundations don't collapse loudly at first. They crack. Slowly. Silently. Until one day everything above them falls. "You should come in," Sophie said. "Just to talk." "I already did," I replied. "For years." "This is different," she said. "They're nervous." "I warned them," I said. I hung up and stared at the ceiling. The silence felt heavy, not empty. My phone buzzed again. "Elena," I said when I answered. "You're enjoying this," she said. "Admit it." "I'm watching consequences," I replied. "You planted doubt." I shared facts. She laughed, but it sounded thin. "You always hide behind that." "Because facts don't lie," I said. "Investors are pulling meetings," she snapped. "Deals are stalling." "Then slow down," I said. That was always the answer. "You don't get to advise me now," she said. "I'm not," I replied. "I'm refusing to save you." That silence stretched longer. "You owe me," she said finally. "For what?" I asked. "For everything we built." "We built different things," I said. "You built a brand. I built stability." "You're cruel," she said. "No," I replied. "I'm calm." Marcus's voice cut in on speaker. "You think you're clever?" "I think you're scared," I said. "Watch yourself," he said. "You're burning bridges." "I already crossed them," I replied. The call ended. An hour later, Daniel called. "They postponed," he said. "Who?" I asked. "Two funds," he replied. "They want clarity." "They won't get it," I said. "They want it from you," he said. I closed my eyes. "I'm not attacking her." "You don't have to," he replied. "Gravity handles the rest." That night, Elena showed up at my door. "I need you," she said. "Not I'm sorry. Not I was wrong. Just need." "You need control," I said. She stepped inside anyway. "Marcus is panicking." "That's his job," I said. "You always do this," she snapped. "You detach." "I survive," I replied. She looked around the small apartment. "This is where you live now?" "For now." She laughed weakly. "You threw away everything for this?" "I traded noise for truth," I said. Her voice cracked. "They don't trust me anymore." "They never trusted arrogance," I said. "They trusted preparation." She stepped closer. "Then help me prepare." "I can't," I said. "You won't hear me." "I will," she said. "I swear." I shook my head. "You swear when you're scared." She slapped the table. "So this is revenge?" "This is distance," I said. "You're punishing me." "I'm choosing peace," I replied. She looked at me like she didn't recognize me. "Say it," she said. "Say you want me to fail." "I don't," I said. "But I won't bleed to keep you standing." Tears filled her eyes. I laughed because I was afraid. The words hit, but they came too late. "You laughed because you felt powerful," I said. "And power made you careless." She wiped her face. "If I fall, it's on you." "No," I said. "If you fall, it's because you stopped listening." She turned toward the door. At the frame, she said quietly, "You're different." "I had to be," I replied. After she left, my phone buzzed. "Richard." "The board's splitting," he said. "I expected that," I replied. "They asked if you'd return," he said. I didn't answer right away. "Would you?" he asked. "No," I said. "That chapter's closed." He exhaled. "Then the collapse accelerates." "I know," I said. And you're okay with that? I looked around the room. Come. So. Yes, I said. Because it's not mine anymore. Later I sat by the window. City lights blinked like warning signals. Elena had always said I was too cautious. But caution wasn't fear. It was care. She didn't lose her empire in one dramatic moment. She lost it every time she chose pride over partnership. And now the cracks were visible. Not because I pushed, but because I stepped away. For the first time, her fall wasn't something I had to catch. And that realization felt heavier than guilt. It felt final. Start small, Daniel said. Quiet. Clean. That's the plan, I replied. We sat across from each other in a narrow office with borrowed chairs and cheap coffee. No logos. No press. Just a whiteboard and ideas. I don't want noise, I said. I want stability. Daniel nodded. That's why I called you. Richard joined us later. He looked around and smiled. This feels honest. It has to, I said. Or I walk. We talked numbers. Modest growth. Real timelines. No fantasy curves. This is boring, Daniel said. Good, I replied. Boring survives. 2 weeks later I hired Maya. She shook my hand and said, I read your framework. You actually read it? I asked. I asked questions, she said. You answered them. That's rare, I said. She smiled. Listening usually is. We worked late not because of pressure but because focus felt good. When something didn't make sense, Maya said, let's fix it, not sell it. One night my phone buzzed. Elena, people are talking about you. I didn't reply. Another message. Are you meeting investors? Silence felt kinder than honesty. Maya glanced over. Everything okay? Old life, I said. She nodded. Those echoes fade. A week later Daniel called. She's unraveling, he said. I'm not watching, I replied. She's watching you, he said. She asked if I'd heard from you. I'm not hiding, I said. I'm building. At midnight Elena called. Why won't you answer? She asked. Because you're not asking, I said. I made a mistake, she said. You made many, I replied. You laughed at the one that mattered. Her breath caught. You're really leaving me behind. I left myself behind for too long, I said. She whispered, do you love me? I closed my eyes. I did. The line went quiet. The next morning Maya said, your silence worked. What do you mean? I asked. People talk when you don't, she said. They fill gaps with truth. Richard called that afternoon. Funds are shifting, he said. Toward you. I didn't ask for that, I replied. You earned it, he said. I hung up and stared at the whiteboard. My name wasn't on it. Just the work. That felt right. Elena showed up again 2 nights later. You're doing this on purpose, she said. No, I replied. I'm doing this properly. You replaced me, she said, looking at Maya's empty desk. I replaced chaos, I said. She laughed weakly. You always hated the spotlight. I hated being unseen, I replied. She stepped closer. Come back. We can fix this. I shook my head. You don't fix respect after you lose it. Her eyes hardened. You think you're better than me now. I think I'm healthier, I said. She turned away. You'll regret this. I regret staying silent, I replied. After she left, Maya asked, was that her? Yes, I said. Does it hurt? She asked. It did, I said. Now it teaches. Weeks passed. The product stabilized. The team stayed small. The numbers held. One evening Daniel raised a glass. To quiet wins. I smiled. To being heard. My phone buzzed one last time that night. A message from Elena. They don't need me anymore. I stared at the words. Then I set the phone down. For the first time, I wasn't responsible for saving her. I was responsible for myself. And that felt like progress. They scheduled an emergency board meeting, Richard said. She doesn't know the outcome yet. I'm not coming, I replied. I know, he said. I just thought you should hear it from me. I already know how it ends, I said. You always did, he replied. I hung up and stared at the window. Rain traced slow lines down the glass. My phone stayed quiet for hours like it was holding its breath. Then it rang. Elena, I said. Her voice shook. They're leaving. I stayed silent. Say something, she pleaded. They were always honest with you, I said. You just stopped listening. They followed you, she said. Every one of them. They followed trust, I replied. Her breath hitched. I built that company. You fronted it, I said. We built it. Marcus's voice cut in. This is your fault. I laughed once. You ignored warnings. You poisoned them, he snapped. No, I said. I refused to lie. Elena whispered, I need you here. You needed me years ago, I replied. She cried then. Full sobs. No control. No polish. I didn't think you'd leave, she said. I thought you'd bend. I broke, I said. There's a difference. Come back, she begged. Please. I can't, I said. Not after you laughed. The call ended. Later that evening Richard texted. It's done. I replied, I'm sorry. He answered, I'm not. The next day Elena stood outside my office. They voted, she said. I didn't invite her in. They asked me to step down, she continued. Temporary. That word lies, I said. Her eyes were hollow. Marcus resigned. I nodded. He always jumps first. She laughed weakly. You sound calm. I worked for this, I said. Just not like this. She stepped closer. Say you forgive me. I forgive you, I said. Hope flashed in her eyes. But I don't return, I added. The hope died. You won, she said bitterly. I survived, I replied. She clenched her fists. You let them destroy me. They followed me because I never destroyed them, I said. She looked at the floor. I didn't see you. I know, I said. She whispered, I was afraid you'd outgrow me. I already had, I replied gently. I just stayed small for you. Tears streamed down her face. I'm alone now. You chose alone every time you dismissed me, I said. She nodded slowly. Will you ever regret this? I thought for a long moment. No, I said. She stepped back. Then this is goodbye. Yes, I replied. She turned and walked away. Inside Maya looked up. You okay? Yes, I said. I think so. Daniel joined later with coffee. It happened. I know, I replied. You didn't even watch, he said. I didn't need to, I replied. That night, news articles flooded in. Headlines rewrote history. Elena's face looked smaller on screens. My phone buzzed with messages I didn't open. I sat alone, not celebrating, not mourning. Just breathing. Elena laughed when I quit. She thought silence meant weakness. She thought presence meant power. She was wrong. Power listened. Power waited. Power walked away when it wasn't respected. I didn't win by taking her empire. I won by letting go of the need to be seen by someone who refused to look. And in that quiet victory, something inside me finally rested. They want a statement, Daniel said. Something clean. I won't comment on her fall, I replied. That restraint is why they trust you, he said. I'm not building on ruins, I said. I'm building forward. The news cycle spun anyway. Analysts debated. Headlines shifted blame. Elena's name appeared beside words like misstep and overreach. I didn't read them. Maya closed her laptop and said, You're lighter. I stopped carrying what wasn't mine, I replied. She smiled. That shows. Richard called in the afternoon. She officially stepped down. I figured, I said. She asked about you, he added. What did you say? That you moved on, he replied. That was kind, I said. He paused. It was accurate. That night, Elena messaged me. I finally understand. I stared at the screen. I thought power would protect me, she wrote. It only isolated me. I typed slowly. Understanding is growth. I'm glad you found it. A reply came almost instantly. Do you hate me? I exhaled. No, I typed. I outgrew the version of us that hurt me. The typing bubbles appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. I wish I had listened. I wish you had too, I replied. Silence followed. Weeks passed. Our company grew without noise. No press tours. No forced smiles. Maya said one evening, You trust your team. I have to, I said. Control kills honesty. Daniel raised his glass. To sustainable. I smiled. To shared. One afternoon I ran into Elena by chance. No assistants. No entourage. You look different, she said. So do you, I replied. She laughed softly. Smaller. Lighter, I corrected. She nodded. I lost everything. You lost the illusion, I said. You kept yourself. She studied me. You're not angry. I was, I said. Then I healed. She swallowed. I don't know how to do that. You start by listening, I said. She nodded slowly. I'm trying. We stood there, two people who once shared everything now sharing distance. I'm proud of you, she said. That would have meant more before, I replied gently. I know, she said. That night I sat alone and thought about endings. Not explosions. Not revenge. Just clarity. Elena didn't fall because I left. She fell because she stopped seeing people as partners and started seeing them as tools. I didn't rise because she failed. I rose because I finally chose myself. The quiet was no longer empty. It was full of intention. And for the first time in a long while, I slept without dreaming of being unheard. Do you ever think about her? Maya asked. Sometimes, I said. Not with pain. That's progress, she replied. I watched the city from my office window. No corner office. No glass walls. Just space that felt earned. Daniel leaned against the doorframe. Final numbers are in. Stable? I asked. Strong, he said. And boring. I smiled. Perfect. My phone buzzed once on the desk. Elena's name appeared, quiet and familiar. I didn't rush to answer. When I finally opened the message, it was simple. I'm leaving the city. New start. I wanted to say goodbye properly. I stared at the words longer than I needed to. Then I typed. I hope you find peace. A moment passed. I never thanked you, she replied. For believing in me before anyone else did. My fingers hovered. I believed because I saw potential, I typed. I left because you stopped seeing me. No reply came. I set the phone down and exhaled slowly. Later that day, Richard stopped by. You look settled, he said. I am, I replied. You know, he added, people still talk about that split. I know, I said. They always will. Any regrets? He asked. I thought of late nights, swallowed words, that laugh. No, I said. Just lessons. That evening Maya stayed late. You okay? She asked. Yes, I said. I closed a door. Permanently? She asked. I don't lock doors, I replied. I just stopped standing in them. She nodded like she understood. When the office emptied, I sat alone and thought about laughter. Elena's laugh wasn't cruel. It was careless. She laughed because she believed I would always stay. That belief cost her everything. I didn't win because investors followed me. I didn't win because her empire fell. I won because I learned when to walk away. My phone buzzed one last time that night. A final message from Elena. I'm sorry I laughed. I read it twice. Then I replied. I'm glad you understand now. No bitterness. No longing. Just closure. I shut off the lights and stepped into the night. The city hummed the same way it always had. But I was different. I no longer needed permission to matter. I no longer waited to be heard. I smiled, not because she lost, but because I found myself when I chose silence over survival. She laughed once. Now I smile.